Angela was pregnant and hungry. She could not make ends meet, could not provide the nutrition that she needed, and was worried about the impact this might have on her developing baby and whether or not she'd be able to deliver him safely. Luckily, though, she lived near a solution. In Angela's hometown of Jackson, there was an organization called RIFA, which offered a free soup kitchen for people like Angela. She took advantage of this program, got meals from Rifa's soup kitchen, and was able to safely have her baby. When she looks back on that time in her life today, she credits Rifa as one of the reasons that her baby Isaiah is here today and healthy. Now there are hundreds of people in Jackson just like Angela, and Rifa is less than a 15-minute drive from Union's campus, engaging, providing for these hundreds of these people every single day. I have spent the past couple weeks researching and learning about Rifa, and so today I hope to persuade you to donate some of your time and money to this important organization. First, I'm going to talk about the problem of hunger in Tennessee and Jackson more specifically, and then I want to talk about the potential solution and why it's simpler and more accessible than you may think. And then I want to talk about what it might look like if we can actually act on this solution and start to see hunger lessen. So, firstly, the problem. This is a very local issue. 1 in 7 Tennesseans are food insecure, which just means rather than being hungry, which is a physical state, food insecure describes the condition of not knowing where your next meal may come from. Over 19% of the children in Tennessee come from food insecure households, and only 12% of those 19% may actually have access to the after-school meals that they need. And lastly, more specifically, 1 in 5 residents in Jackson struggles with hunger. And Jackson is actually 18.9% impoverished. 18.9% of people in Jackson live below the poverty line, which is 3.9% higher than the national average. There are important reasons why we should contribute to this too, why we should care and work to lessen this. I assume that most of my audience would call themselves Christians, and so I would call our attention to the words that are on Rifa's website of Jesus as he's addressing orphans and widows and the importance of his followers caring for them. He says, "Truly I say to you, as you did it to one of the least of these, my brothers, you did it to me." Even among unbelievers, there is a common sense, I believe, of decency that acknowledges the humanity in everyone, no matter their class, no matter their color, no matter their position in life. And so I would think it's not a very disputed claim to say that compassion is important, that it is a quality most people have, and that feeding hungry people around us is important. If this problem goes unchecked, the Pew Research Center kind of addresses what may happen. It's kind of a convoluted chart, but basically there is a gap between the upper class and the lower class, the potentially hungry and the probably wealthy, and that gap is getting bigger. So without places like Rifa, without people contributing to fighting this problem, the hungry will probably just get hungrier. So now that we've talked about the problem, I want to go over a potential solution. So there's already plenty of good work happening, and all we really need is involvement from people like us with resources to extend the reach of these programs. These are just some of the programs that are happening in Jackson through RIFA. They have a snack backpack program which cares for children who may not have enough food outside of their school. We have a soup kitchen here in Jackson that gives meals out from the RIFA building, and there's a food bank that donates food to nonprofits all over the West Tennessee area. No Kid Hungry's Tennessee branch describes how this will work. They say, "We have plenty of food in the United States and we have child hunger relief programs that work. The problem is that not enough kids are able to access them. That's a problem we now know how to solve. This can be applied obviously to children or adults. There are organizations out there and they need people like us with the resources to do so, to give selflessly from that and work to close the gap a little bit." So now that I've talked about the problem and potential solution, I want to go over what it might actually look like to fight this problem and to see progress in that that world. The benefits of fighting hunger are pretty far-reaching, I think. The fighting poverty, lessening poverty, benefits society as a whole. If we can shrink the problem of poverty and the problem of hunger, then we have the possibility of relocating funds to other civic amenities like transportation, like entertainment, whatever. If poverty is not as big of a problem, then we don't need as much money to fight it. Additionally, it is, I believe, every Christian's duty to care about this problem, to care for the orphans and widows in their distress, as Christ says. And just generally among believers and unbelievers, who would not try for and agree that less suffering around us is a good thing? I believe that all of us feel compassion, and so I would challenge us to not let it stop there with just a feeling inside of us. When we consider the offensive abundance sometimes that we've been given, I believe that should drive us to maybe give up a Target run one day, give up buying a new sweater to make sure that that guy you always pass on the corner has enough food to sleep tonight. Give up maybe a sandwich or a Starbucks run to make sure that the kid down the street from you that you don't even know doesn't have to worry about eating enough after school. And so, in conclusion, this is not a problem to slouch over. This is something that we can and should address immediately, and that can be helped very quickly if we do that. So today, hopefully, I convinced you to donate some of your money or your time to the Religious Interfaith Organization here in Jackson. We went over the problem of hunger and how it's very local, very immediate. We went over a potential solution and how it's pretty simple, and we just need to get involved with the organizations that are already doing good work. And we went over the benefits and visualize what it might look like if we actually act on this. And so I would say let's all do what we can to ensure that no father or daughter, no son or mother goes hungry in our city ever again. Thank you.